WandaVision, the last episode aired on Disney Plus, episode 9. I know Joey's got a lot to say about this, but I'm gonna set the scene a little bit because I was definitely I was expecting a little bit more, but I will say I was happy that basically, they make Agatha Harkness was the kind of main villain. They had the standoff with Wanda. You got to see White Vision fight Vision. Monica Rambeau showed her powers. And even the misdirect with the Quicksilver that we thought was Quicksilver turned out to be Agatha's husband, who was this dude named Ralph Boner. That was a joke inserted. Got that. I mean, all sorts of things happened, but no Nightmare. I mean, no Mephisto.
That we know of.
It was really just Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch and really becoming empowered as a Scarlet Witch. So, Joy, I'm gonna let you talk a little. I know you weren't as into it as I was.
Yeah, I mean, it still wasn't a bad series. It wasn't a bad episode. I think because we predicted so much throughout, us talking about the show, we had these high expectation of these like crazy reveals or, Easter eggs and things like that, or maybe even like a Doctor Strange pulling up in the episode.
Yeah.
We don't go in there with that expectation because it doesn't happen. I'm gonna tell you right now, just so that way, you don't feel like me at the end of the episode, because I had to watch it a second time to actually appreciate it without going in there with predictions. I think what was really dope about it was the fact that, we got to see not only Elizabeth Olsen and Wanda being acknowledged as the Scarlet Witch, but you got to see her in a full costume.
Yeah, the transformation was dope to me. The transformation was dope. I loved how she just took all of Agatha's energy and she took her chaos magic back, and then she took Agatha's and she was like an upgrade to Scarlet Witch, and then she was Scarlet Witch. It was like, that's the Scarlet Witch. She's a bad bitch.
And for real, we peeped that. And she showed it off a little bit because she doesn't really know much about magic, and she took that little piece of information she got from Agatha, applied it to the hex, and just set it up some nice. Crazy. It was overall it was a very, very good episode, and a very touching at the end too, because you already knew what to expect with the whole Vision situation, because he lives in that hex. But one thing we needed to watch out for is that confrontation between Cataract Vision and
White Vision and
Vision, because there was a they were sharing, looked like they were sharing information. I felt like Vision was transferring his memories.
So it was kind of like Vision kind of goes, the Vision that is the old Vision, but the one that Wanda reconstructed herself, fights the White Vision, who is what Sword's version. They basically reassembled old Vision's parts, and that was White Vision in this, right? So when they fight, it's almost equal. And at first, Wanda's, she thinks it's the regular Vision, but then he basically comes up to her, starts squeezing her head, and then Vision has to intervene. But there's a moment when the two Visions and the old school Vision kind of talks to the White Vision and kind of gives him like a logistics thing, and the long story short of it, and not going verbatim of what he said, it was kind of like, hey, are you still Vision if basically you're a rebuilt version of me using spare parts? Are you still me? And then he was just like, kind of like, oh, never thought about it that way. And it was just kind of like, okay, logically speaking, I'm not, plus I don't have the Mind Stone. And so it was that kind of thing that kind of just finally split the fight up, and you're like, okay. But that's Vision. If people know Vision from the comics, he's not just this android that's powerful and can do all these things. He also has this real super logical mind, and he's like a big, well-read kind of dude. So it really fit the character. I thought that was really well played. I love the part, like you said, the Easter eggs when Wanda comes with the kids and Vision, and they have that's the Avengers Assemble moment where they do that whole thing. It's like, kids, you take on a sword, we got the rest, you handle it. We didn't train you for this, but you were born for this.
That was dope.
I love that part. And I love the part when Monica Rambeau comes into I forget the Hayward dude. He comes in to shoot the kid, and then Monica jumps in the middle, and she finally uses her powers to kind of phase the bullets. And then the one last bullet, the kid stops on his own, and dude knows he's fucked. It's just like, that was dope to me. So
indeed, man, it was really awesome. Just kind of seeing them assemble. What kind of threw me off a little bit is how White Vision, just disappears out of nowhere. Like you just don't see him anymore.
He kind of bounced.
He just boogied. Like he just skated after the whole little conversation they had. It was wild, and that gives me the theory or the prediction that he'll come back as the actual.
Oh
Vision.
yeah. Vision's not done, and that was kind of opening the door, keeping the door open for that Vision, the White Vision, to finally get whatever's left of the old Vision's, his mentality or being into him and become the new Vision, I guess. Or however they're going to spin it in the MCU, they got something planned
for sure.
Vision is not going away. Yep, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Even with the Agatha, keeping her at bay. So she's going to be hanging around too. So this is going to be interesting. She actually turned her into the the nosy neighbor, that character that she
basically just like, hey, you're the nosy neighbor, so now you're permanently stuck in this world. And she's like, oh, don't do that to me. No, already done. It's like, so literally at the end, it's like Wanda just sucks all her power into her, because Agatha was sucking Wanda's power initially, and you were thinking that that's how it was going to end, because you saw like with the hands, like Wanda's hands were turning gray because she was losing her power, but she was basically setting up Agatha, which was, I thought that was a great spin. I know people were expecting more, and it was definitely the misdirect with I always forget the kid's name who played Quicksilver, and we thought that was the real Quicksilver.
Evan Peters,
mutants were going to be introduced, but that's not what happened. At the same time, though, we're going to roll into the next topic, because
good pump fake.
Yeah, it was good. Exactly. Good pump. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Great pump fake. Great football reference.